News Channel 2.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libator. We've got a lot to cover this morning, so let's start out with a check of your Storm Tracker 2 forecast. Meteorologist Hannah Evans in the Weather Center, and this nice dry stretch continues.
Yes, it does continue. A little bit chilly to start this morning. Some areas are waking up with frost, but we will reach right near 60 today and we will see sunshine.
Loving it.
Yes, I love it too. So let's take a look now at the temperatures. We are all in the 30s this morning, so once again, some areas of frost, so keep that in mind when heading out the door. 36 degrees in Little Falls, 39 degrees in Earlville, 34 degrees in Inlet. But we will reach a high temperature right near 60 today, and that will happen in the late afternoon hours. We will just be in the mid-50s by lunchtime. But once again, we will start to warm up, and we will continue to warm up for the middle and end of this week. So as for this morning, a chilly start with some frost in some areas, but we are going to remain dry for most, if not all, of this week. And once again, nice fall weather. We will start to warm up and then we will cool down again for next weekend. But for today, we are going to be seeing partly cloudy skies. Highs are going to be right near 60, and I will be talking about the temperatures and the dry weather coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Thanks, and don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast, never more than 10 minutes away. We begin this morning with the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. In the hardest hit areas, rescue crews are still going door to door and combing through what's left to try to find victims and survivors. NBC's Chris Pallone has spent the last few days in Florida and joins us now from Fort Myers with the latest.
Hello!
5 days after Ian struck, and the search for survivors in Florida is still underway. Search teams have rescued more than 2,000 people so far. For the man overseeing the effort, it's personal.
First priority remains search and rescue and helping those in need. These aren't strangers to us. We live and work in these communities.
In some areas, they're using cadaver dogs to find those who didn't make it. The scope of the destruction, stunning. Not just confined to the coast. Inland flooding, a major problem for communities near the state's swollen rivers.
I think from what I've seen in the state, I think most of the damage has been from water rather than wind.
50,000 electrical workers are making progress restoring power, bringing 500,000 homes back online in 24 hours. In Lee County, officials say it's all hands on deck to make things as normal as possible as soon as they can.
Our county commissioners, county manager, everyone is out in full force trying to get back power to the residents, making sure they have water, making sure they have food, and the basic essentials to get through every single day.
And it's not just Florida. While they were dealt a much weaker blow from Ian, people in the Carolinas spent the weekend cleaning up too.
We probably cleaned up 25 times in our lifetime, but this is, other than Hugo, this was the worst for us.
The long road to recovery now underway.
The FEMA director says this search and rescue operation is the largest the agency has ever conducted. In Fort Myers, Florida, Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Chris, thanks. Also this morning, the death toll from Hurricane Ian continues to grow. At least 87 people have died across Florida and North Carolina because of the storm. That's up from 77 on Saturday. Power outages are making rescue efforts even more difficult. And as floodwaters recede, officials warn the death toll could rise even further. And new this morning, we've learned one of those killed in the massive storm is an Ohio woman killed while celebrating her 40th birthday. 4 women were in Fort Myers celebrating Nichelle Harris's 40th birthday, but officials say the storm tore the roof off of their hotel room and flying debris hit Harris Miles, killing her. One of the women was recording the storm on Facebook as a way to check in with loved ones as the water began rushing into the room. And Hurricane Ian has not only displaced thousands of people, but also many pets as well. Take a look at this new video we got into the newsroom overnight of a high number of homeless or surrendered pets in hard-hit areas. Volunteers have rescued so many cats and dogs. Now humane societies everywhere are stepping up to help out. At last check, nearly 100 cats and dogs have already been flown from South Florida to New Jersey. And looking ahead, President Biden and the First Lady will head to Puerto Rico and Florida in the coming days to see the after effects of the devastating hurricane. Puerto Rico is still dealing with the devastation from Hurricane Fiona. On top of flooding and collapsed bridges, almost all of the island is still without power. The President and First Lady will be in Puerto Rico today and head to Florida on Wednesday. And we've got an important recall to tell you about this.
Welcome back. As you start the morning, we are going to be very chilly. We are in the 30s right now, so at 8 a.m., 6 a.m., 34 degrees. By 8 a.m., we will reach the upper 30s, and then by 10 p.m., we will really start to warm up as the sun comes out with temperatures in the mid-40s at this time. And once again, the high temperature today will reach right near 60. We will slowly be warming up as the week progresses, with highs in the low 60s tomorrow and in the mid-60s on Thursday or on Wednesday, and even near 70 on Thursday. But a cold front looks to move through early Friday, bringing a few scattered showers, and that will drop our temperature and really drop our temperature to just the highs in the 40s and 50s for Saturday and Sunday. And even looking ahead for the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, it does look like we are going to be very below normal in terms of temperatures 6 to 10 days from now, which looks to be next week. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. We head overseas now to Indonesia.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are waking up to partly cloudy skies this morning and some patchy frost as our temperatures are just ranging into the mid-30s. So let's take a look at our Cavi Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. Once again, very cool and partly cloudy this morning. So as you are heading outside, I would definitely just make sure to give yourself just a little bit extra time because there may be some frost out on the cars as temperatures are just in the lower to mid-30s. And taking a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, we are still tracking dry conditions across the region. This is still thanks to an area of high pressure. We will remain dry today and we will warm up with sunshine to highs near 60. But as of right now, in the 30s, just 33 degrees in Inlet and 36 degrees in Dowdesville and Little Falls. And looking to the south, we have 38 degrees in Skanevis and in Sherburne. And once again, we will reach near 60 for the high temperature today as the sun starts to come up this morning. But once again, the National Weather Service still has this frost advisory out for southern Herkimer, Oneida, and Otsego County until 9 a.m. this morning, and a freeze warning in effect for Lewis County until 9 a.m. this morning. So keep that in mind when heading out the door. It is pretty chilly out there. Definitely wear the jacket or the coat. But it is going to be a pretty nice day today, and even for most of this week, it is going to be very nice and dry with fall-like weather. Today through Wednesday, if you did want to go outside, sit on the patio, or do anything outdoors, I would say yes. Even on Thursday, it actually is going to really warm up to highs near 70. So we will continue to warm up through this week, highs near 70 on Thursday, and then heading into Friday, our temperature will drop into below average temperatures as a cold front moves through. So as our temperature drops, looking ahead to next weekend and next week, our fall foliage will really start to progress. As of right now, we are at midpoint for north and south of the Mohawk Valley, with the Mohawk Valley just seeing a little bit of color, but as we progress this week, Mohawk Valley definitely going to reach midpoint at some time and right near peak for north and south of the Mohawk Valley. So let's take a look at everything on our Skycast. As for today, we will warm up to the mid-50s around lunchtime and near 60 later this afternoon with partly cloudy skies and dry conditions. And as for tonight, it drops down to the 30s once again, giving us the possibility of another round of frost tonight. Tomorrow, partly cloudy skies continue with high temperatures reaching the low 60s. And then heading into Wednesday, we will be seeing partly cloudy skies once again. We will warm up a little bit more on Wednesday with highs in the mid 60s. But as for today, highs will reach just right near 60. Partly cloudy skies and dry conditions continue. And it will remain partly cloudy tonight with the low in the 30s with the possibility of frost once again. So we will start to warm up for the middle and end of this week, reaching right near 70 by Thursday. But then a cold front moves through for Friday, and that really drops the temperature for the weekend, Gary.
So bring a jacket this morning, but you might not need it when you get out of work.
Yes, so we will reach right near 60 with sunshine, so it should feel a little bit better.
I love this stretch.
So do I.
Hannah, thanks. Still ahead on Sunrise, we have an important consumer alert to tell you about. Joining us for this half hour, I'm Gary Libator. We want to start things off this morning with a check of your forecast. Meteorologist Hannah Evans is here from the Weather Center once again, and once again, we are in the midst of a nice stretch.
Yes, it is going to remain dry for most of this week. We are just starting out a little bit chilly this morning, but we will warm up into the afternoon as the sun comes out.
Boy, golfers are loving this weather.
Yes, definitely. It's going to be very nice this week. So let's take a look now at the temperatures this morning. We are all in the 30s. There is some frost in some areas outside, so just keep that in mind. It definitely is pretty chilly, just 33 degrees in Inlet and 37 degrees in Whitesboro, Westmoreland, and in Cooperstown. But we will will reach the mid-50s right around lunchtime, and then right near 60 later on in the afternoon. So it is going to warm up today as the sun starts to come out for the day. So we are starting out a bit chilly. We are remaining dry for most of this week. A nice fall week ahead with temperatures in the 60s, and then we will drop into the 40s and 50s for the weekend and into next week as a cold front moves through. So this week looks to be pretty warm, and then we do get chilly for the weekend and into next week. As for today, highs will reach right near 60. We are going to be seeing partly cloudy skies and dry conditions, and I will be talking a little bit more about the temperature and the dry weather coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Sounds good, Hannah. We'll check back in with you in just a little bit. People living in the West Canada Creek Village mobile home park in Poland are without water, and it's been that way all.
Welcome back. It is going to be a very nice fall day today with partly cloudy skies and high temperatures reaching the mid to upper 50s in the North Country. Right near 60 for the Mohawk Valley and in the mid-50s for the Southern Valleys. And once again, we will be seeing partly cloudy skies, so it is going to be a pretty nice fall day to spend outside with calm wind speeds. For today through Thursday, it will continue to remain dry, partly cloudy skies, so it is going to be a pretty nice week ahead. Our next chance for some precipitation looks to be on Friday as the cold front moves through, and as that cold front moves through, bringing in those showers, that is what will drop our temperature for the end of the week and into next week. But once again, our next chance of frost does look to be tonight, overnight, but not really looking like any more chances for the rest of this week. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. Preparations are already underway.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are waking up pretty chilly this morning with our temperatures ranging in the 30s, and there is some patchy frost outside. So let's take a look at our Cavity Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. Partly cloudy skies to start, and once again pretty cool this morning with temperatures in the 30s, but we will remain dry and warm up with sunshine today. So taking a look now at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Once again, we are continuing to track dry conditions. This is thanks to this area of high pressure. Today is going to be very pleasant with highs near 60 and partly cloudy skies with calm wind speeds. And for most of this week, we do look to remain dry up until the end of the week. But this morning, very cool to start. Just 32 degrees in Inlet, 37 degrees in Whitesboro and in Westmoreland. And looking to the south, still in the 30s, 39 degrees in Skanevis and Cooperstown here this morning. We will reach right near 60 for the high temperature today as the sun starts to come up this morning. So overall, a pretty nice day is in store. But the National Weather Service still has that frost advisory out for Oneida, Southern Herkimer, and Otsego County until 9 a.m. this morning, along with a freeze warning for Lewis County until 9 a.m. So pretty cool out this morning, possibly some frost out there on your car windshield. So keep that in mind when you are heading out the door. But overall, going to be a pretty nice day as we warm up. And we will continue to warm up towards the middle and end of this week with highs reaching even near 70 on Thursday. But then the heat kind of does break for the weekend with below average temperatures coming in. But if you did want to spend some time outside on the patio, or for a walk, run, or doing any yard work or anything like that, today through Wednesday, I would say yes. Even for Thursday, I would say yes. Going to be some pretty nice days coming up this week to spend outside. And with this warmer weather this week, fall foliage not really looking to change, but as we head into the weekend, below average temperatures comes in. That is when our fall foliage will really start to change, reaching near peak for north and south of the Mohawk Valley and mid peak for the Mohawk Valley. So for today, we are tracking partly cloudy skies. Highs are going to be right near 60. And tonight, there is the possibility to see some more frost again as our overnight lows fall into the 30s. As for tomorrow, we are still remaining dry, seeing more clouds throughout the day, but highs are going to be in the low 60s. And then as we head into Wednesday, highs are going to reach the mid-60s, and we are still remaining dry as well. We will continue to warm up for Thursday. But as for today, partly cloudy skies are expected. Highs near 60, a pretty nice day to spend outside. And tonight, there is a possibility to see some more frost overnight as our overnight lows fall into the 30s. And as we head through the rest of the week, we will continue to warm up to highs near 70 on Thursday. And then a cold front moves through Thursday into Friday, bringing a few scattered showers and really dropping our temperature for the weekend, Gary.
So a nice cool overnight and warming up each day.
Yes, so we are going to be in the mid-60s, near 70, so it's going to be a pretty nice week.
What a great stretch.
Yes.
Hannah, thanks. As we told you on Friday on News Channel 2 at sunrise, the Biden. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Libator. We've got a lot of ground to cover this morning, so let's start right off with the check of the Storm Tracker 2 forecast. Meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us now in the Weather Center with what we need to know to plan our day ahead, and we can plan on things warming up nicely.
Yes, we are starting out pretty chilly this morning with some frost, but we will warm up near 60 with sunshine, and even as the week progresses, we will continue to warm up each day.
Boy, what a nice stretch.
Yes, a very nice stretch and dry.
Yeah.
So let's take a look now at the temperatures as of this morning. We are going to be in the mid-30s. We will reach right near 60 for the high temperature today, but right now we are kind of ranging in the 30s. There is some patchy frost outside as well. 32 degrees in inlets, 35 degrees in Little Falls, so keep that in mind when heading out the door. And I would definitely grab the jacket or the coat because it is very chilly to start, but reaching the mid-50s just around lunchtime and right near 60 for the high temperature today as the sun comes up this morning. We will remain dry for most of this week and we will continue to warm up each day to even high temperatures near 70 on Thursday. So a very nice fall week ahead, and after a cold front moves through Friday morning, that is when our temperature will drop heading into next weekend and next week. But for today, once again, highs near 60, and I will be talking a little bit more about the temperatures and the dry conditions this week coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thank you. And don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast, never more than 10 minutes away. We begin this morning with the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. In the hardest hit areas, rescue crews are still going door to door and combing through what's left to try to find victims and survivors. NBC's Chris Pallone has spent the last few days in Florida and has more now from Fort Myers with the latest. Hello!
5 days after Ian struck, and the search for survivors in Florida is still underway. Search teams have rescued more than 2,000 people so far. For the man overseeing the effort, it's personal.
First priority remains search and rescue and helping those in need. These aren't strangers to us. We live and work in these communities.
In some areas, they're using cadaver dogs to find those who didn't make it. The scope of the destruction, stunning. Not just confined to the coast. Inland flooding, a major problem for communities near the state's swollen rivers.
I think from what I've seen in the state, I think most of the damage has been from water rather than wind.
50,000 electrical workers are making progress restoring power, bringing 500,000 homes back online in 24 hours. In Lee County, officials say it's all hands on deck to make things as normal as possible as soon as they can.
Our county commissioners, county manager, everyone is out in full force trying to get back power to the residents, making sure they have water, making sure they have food, and the basic essentials to get through every single day.
And it's not just Florida. While they were dealt a much weaker blow from Ian, people in the Carolinas spent the weekend cleaning up too.
We probably cleaned up 25 times in our lifetime, but this is, other than Hugo, this was the worst for us.
The long road to recovery now underway.
The FEMA director says this search and rescue operation is the largest the agency has ever conducted. In Fort Myers, Florida, Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Chris, thanks. Also this morning, the death toll from Hurricane Ian continues to grow. At least 87 people have died across Florida and North Carolina because of the storm. That's up from 77 on Saturday. Power outages are making rescue efforts even more difficult. And as floodwaters recede, officials warn that the death toll could rise even further. And new this morning, we've learned that one of those killed in the massive storm is an Ohio woman killed there while celebrating her 40th birthday in Florida. 4 women were in Fort Myers celebrating Nichelle Harris Miles' 40th birthday, but officials say the storm tore the roof off of their hotel room. Debris flying hit Harris Miles, killing her. One of the women was actually recording the storm on Facebook as a way to check in with loved ones as that water began rushing into their hotel room. Hurricane Ian has not only displaced thousands of people, but also many pets. Take a look at this new video we got into the newsroom overnight of a high number of homeless or surrendered pets in hard-hit areas, and volunteers have rescued so many cats and dogs that now humane societies everywhere across the country are stepping up to help out. At last check, nearly 100 cats and dogs have already been flown from South Florida to New Jersey. And looking ahead, President Biden and the First Lady will head to Puerto Rico and Florida in the coming days to see the after effects of the two devastating hurricanes. Puerto Rico is still dealing with the devastation from Hurricane Fiona. On top of flooding and collapsed bridges, almost all of the island is still without power. The President and First Lady will be in Puerto Rico today and head to Florida on Wednesday. We've got an important recall to tell you.
Welcome back. It is going to start out pretty chilly this morning at around, right now, we are seeing temperatures in the mid-30s, and we will reach the upper 30s by 8 a.m. and by 10 a.m. seeing temperatures in the mid-40s, and we will continue to rise throughout the day as the sun comes out to highs near 60. So for tomorrow, we will even warm up even more with highs in the low 60s, then the mid-60s on Wednesday, and even near 70 on Thursday. But then the cold front looks to move through Friday, bringing a few scattered showers and dropping our temperature to below average for the weekend. And even looking ahead 6 to 10 days from now for this weekend and even next week, it does look like we are going to be very below average in terms of temperature in our area. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. We head overseas now to India.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are waking up pretty cool this morning with some patchy frost, but we will warm up for a pretty nice fall day ahead. So let's take a look at the Cavity Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. Partly cloudy skies to start this morning with temperatures in the 30s, but we are remaining dry with sunshine coming in and highs are going to be near 60. So taking a look at our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, still tracking dry conditions today thanks to this area of high pressure that will be sticking around for most of this week, giving us a very nice fall week ahead. According to our Skywatchers, though, we are very chilly to start. There also is some patchy frost outside. 32 degrees in Old Forge, 35 degrees in Clinton, and looking to the south, we have 34 degrees in Cooperstown and 39 degrees in Milford. But the high temperature today will reach right near 60 as the sun starts to come up this morning. So it is going to be a pretty nice and comfortable day once again. But according to the National Weather Service, they still have that frost advisory out for Oneida, Otsego, and southern Herkimer County until 9 a.m., as well as a freeze warning in effect for Lewis County until 9 a.m. So keep that in mind for this morning. There may be some frost outside. But it is going to be a beautiful day today, a beautiful fall week. If you did want to spend time outside on your patio or getting some fresh air, I would say yes for most of this week. Monday through Thursday, definitely. Our next chance of precipitation looks to be on Friday, but even then, doesn't look to be widespread or anything. Just looks to be a few scattered showers, but a beautiful week ahead with temperatures ranging in the 60s. So according to our fall foliage reports, still right at mid-peak for north and south of the Mohawk Valley and a little color in the Mohawk Valley, but we are really going to cool down to below average temperatures for this weekend and next week, and that will really start to drive our fall foliage report to change to be at near peak for north and south of the Mohawk Valley and at midpoint for the Mohawk Valley. So for our skycast today, we are going to continue to see some sunshine with partly cloudy skies, reaching the mid-50s by lunchtime and then near 60 by late afternoon. Tonight, there is another chance to see some frost as our overnight lows fall into the 30s. But as for tomorrow, we will warm up to the low 60s, seeing more clouds than sun, but still remaining dry for tomorrow. Heading into Wednesday, we are going to warm up even a little bit more. Highs are going to be in the mid-60s on Wednesday with partly cloudy skies once again. So as for today, we are going to be seeing partly cloudy skies. Highs are going to be right near 60 after a chilly start this morning. And tonight, there's the possibility to see some more frost in the area as overnight lows fall into the mid-30s. So we will continue to warm up each day this week, reaching near 70 for the high temperature by Thursday. But a cold front moves through Friday, and that will really drop our temperature to below average for the weekend, Gary.
So let's enjoy the next several days because over the weekend starts to cool down.
Yes, it really starts to cool down. Highs just in the upper 40s for Saturday.
Boo.
Yeah, burr.
Boo. Be sure to like us on Facebook. Good morning, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libator. We want to start this morning off with a check of your forecast. Meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us from the Weather Center with a look at how we can all plan our day ahead. And if you've been with us before, we know We're in a nice stretch.
Yes, so we are going to be seeing dry weather for most of this week. So we will start out chilly this morning and then reaching near 60 today. So it's going to be pretty nice.
I would take this 365 days a year.
Yes, it's going to be a very nice fall-like day today. Feeling like fall for most of this week. So right now we are in the 30s. Some areas are seeing some frost, so keep that in mind as you are heading out the door. Just 32 degrees in Inlet and 35 degrees in Little Falls. But we will warm up today, reaching the mid-50s right around lunchtime and near 60 in the later afternoon hours as the sun comes up today. And we will remain dry and in the 60s for most of this week. So every day we are kind of going to start out pretty chilly with temperatures in the 30s and 40s, and then we will rise to the 60s for the afternoon. We are going to remain dry through the middle and end of this week, and it is going to get a little bit cooler for the weekend as a cold front moves through, but overall a pretty nice fall week ahead. Great time to spend outside. And as for today, calm winds, comfortable conditions with highs right near 60, and I will be talking about the dry weather and the temperatures coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, sounds good. We'll check back in with you in just a bit. People living in the West Canada Creek Village.
Welcome back. We are starting out cool this morning, but it is going to turn out to be a pretty nice day. High temperatures will reach the mid to upper 50s in the North Country. We will be right near 60 here in the Mohawk Valley and in the mid 50s in the Southern Valleys with partly cloudy skies, a nice fall day in store. And even for most of this week, it is going to be nice with partly cloudy skies through Thursday as well as dry conditions. Our next chance of precipitation doesn't look to be until Friday. So our next chance for frost does look to be tonight into tomorrow. It is possible. Overnight lows are going to be in the upper 30s, so it is possible to see frost tonight, but looking ahead through the weekend, not looking like there is going to be frost for this week and into the weekend. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. Preparations are already underway in Little
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out pretty chilly this morning with some patchy frost, but we will warm up as the sun comes out this morning. Let's take a look now at the Cavity Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. Partly cloudy skies to start. We can see a little bit of the leaves changing on our trees here up top Smith Hill, and temperatures at this point are in the 30s, but we are in a nice stretch of dry fall weather for most of this week. So taking a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, once again remaining dry thanks to this area of high pressure that is going to be sticking around for most of this week, giving us very pleasant fall weather. According to our Skywatchers, though, we are starting out pretty chilly this morning. There are some areas of frost, 32 degrees in Old Forge and 35 degrees in Clinton. And looking to the south, we have 34 degrees in Cooperstown and 39 degrees in Milford. But we will warm up this afternoon to high temperatures right near 60. But because of the cooler weather this morning, the National Weather Service has issued a frost advisory for Oneida, Otsego, and Sub and Herkimer County until 9 a.m. and a freeze warning for Lewis County until 9 a.m. So keep that in mind as you're getting ready to head out the door this morning. There may be some areas of frost, especially on the car. But it is going to be a beautiful fall day today. Even through Thursday, we are going to remain dry. So if you didn't want to sit outside on your patio, maybe eat outside in the afternoon, go for a walk, I would say yes for today through Thursday. That is when we will be dry, and that is when we are going to be seeing beautiful fall-like weather. We are going to get a lot cooler, though, heading into the weekend as a cold front moves through, so that will really drive our fall foliage map to change. As of right now, we are at midpoint for north and south of the Mohawk Valley, and just a little bit of color in the Mohawk Valley, but probably by next week we will be near peak for north and south of the Mohawk Valley and at midpoint for the Mohawk Valley as the cooler weather comes in for next week. But on our Skycast today, we will warm up to right near 60 in the later afternoon hours with partly cloudy skies throughout the day. A pretty nice day ahead. And tonight, that is our next chance to possibly see some frost as overnight lows fall into the 30s. Tomorrow, we will be seeing more clouds and sun, but still remaining dry. Highs are going to be in the low 60s. And we warm up a little bit more on Wednesday with partly cloudy skies and high temperatures reaching the mid 60s on Wednesday. But as for today, highs are going to be right near 60. We are going to be seeing sunshine today and dry conditions, a beautiful fall day in store. And as for tonight, it will will be partly cloudy with our next chance of frost as overnight lows fall into the 30s. So for most of this week, we are going to be dry, slowly warming up each day. Before Thursday, we reach highs near 70. A cold front moves through on Friday that brings in a few scattered showers, and that drops our temperature for the weekend to below average, Gary.
Ouch.
Yes, highs just in the upper 40s for Saturday.
The end is near.
Yes, the end is near. It's going to get a little bit cooler next week.
So sad. Hannah, thanks. If you're just waking up, we have the... And thank you for joining us on the CW11. I'm Gary Liberatore. We got a lot of ground to cover this morning. First, let's get a check of your Storm Tracker 2 forecast. Meteorologist Hannah Evans joining us now with what we need to know to plan our Monday. And the good news is we can plan it warming up.
Yes, so we are starting out very chilly, but we will warm up to near 60 today, and then even through this week we will be in the mid 60s, so it should be nice.
Thanks for starting the day off right.
You're welcome. So let's take a look now at the bus stop forecast. I would definitely grab the jacket and coat when heading off to the bus stop. Temperatures are just in the upper 30s at this point, but by the afternoon we will reach right near 60, and we will continue to see sunshine all throughout the day. So today is going to be very nice, calmer winds with highs just near 60, and tonight's partly cloudy skies, and once again there's the possibility of some frost overnight as lows fall into the 30s. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. Don't forget the Storm Tracker 2 forecast, never more than 10 minutes away. We begin this morning with the aftermath of Hurricane Ian. In the hardest hit areas, rescue crews are actually still going door to door, combing through what's left to try and find victims and survivors. NBC's Chris Pallone has spent the last few days in Florida and joins us now from Fort Myers with the very latest. Hello!
5 days after Ian struck, and the search for survivors in Florida is still underway. Search teams have rescued more than 2,000 people so far. For the man overseeing the effort, it's personal.
First priority remains search and rescue and helping those in need. These aren't strangers to us. We live and work in these communities.
In some areas, they're using cadaver dogs to find those who didn't make it. The scope of the destruction, stunning. Not just confined to the coast. Inland flooding, a major problem for communities near the state's swollen rivers.
I think from what I've seen in the state, I think most of the damage has been from water rather than wind.
50,000 electrical workers are making progress restoring power, bringing 500,000 homes back online in 24 hours. In Lee County, officials say it's all hands on deck to make things as normal as possible as soon as they can.
Our county commissioners, county manager, everyone is out in full force trying to get back power to the residents, making sure they have water, making sure they have food, and the basic essentials to get through every single day.
And it's not just Florida. While they were dealt a much weaker blow from Ian, people in the Carolinas spent the weekend cleaning up too.
We probably cleaned up 25 times in our lifetime, but this is, other than Hugo, this was the worst for us.
The long road to recovery now underway.
The FEMA director says this search and rescue operation is the largest the agency has ever conducted. In Fort Myers, Florida, Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Chris, thanks. Also this morning, the death toll from Hurricane Ian continues to grow. At least 87 people have now been confirmed dead across Florida and North Carolina because of the storm, and that's up from 77 on Saturday. Power outages are making rescue efforts even more difficult, and as floodwaters recede, officials warn the death toll could rise even further. And new this morning, we've learned one of those killed in the massive storm is an Ohio woman killed while celebrating her 40th birthday. 4 women were in Fort Myers, Florida, celebrating Nichelle Harris Miles' 40th, but officials say the storm tore down the roof off of their hotel room and flying debris hit Harris Miles, killing her. One of the women was recording the storm on Facebook as a way to check in with loved ones as that water began rushing into their hotel room. And Hurricane Ian has not only displaced thousands of people, but also hundreds of pets. Take a look at this new video we got into the newsroom overnight of a high number of homeless or surrendered pets in hard-hit areas. Volunteers have rescued so many cats and dogs. Now, humane societies all across the country are stepping up to help out. At last check, nearly 100 cats and dogs have already been flown from South Florida to New Jersey. And looking ahead, President Biden and the First Lady will head to Puerto Rico and Florida in the coming days to see the after effects of the 2 devastating hurricanes. Puerto Rico still dealing with the devastation from Hurricane Fiona. On top of flooding and collapsed bridges, almost all of that island is still without power. The President and First Lady will be in Puerto Rico today and head to Florida on Wednesday. Well, we've got an important
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good morning, everybody. We are starting out pretty chilly this morning with some patchy frost, but temperatures will rise to right near 60 for the high today. So let's take a look at the CAV Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. We can see some of the fall foliage up here on top of Smith Hill, as well as partly cloudy skies. We are going to remain dry with a beautiful fall day ahead. And taking a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Once again, tracking dry conditions. This is due to this area of high pressure that looks to stick around for most of this week. Dry weather will continue up until the end of the week. But according to our Skywatcher, it's pretty chilly this morning, just 33 degrees in Westdale and Verona Beach and 32 degrees in Old Forge. There is some area of frost outside, so keep that in mind before you head out the door. Looking to the south, 34 degrees in Cooperstown and 39 degrees in Milford. So because of the cooler weather this morning, the National Weather Service still has a frost advisory out for Oneida, Southern Herkimer, and Otsego County until 9 a.m., as well as a freeze warning for Lewis County until 9 a.m. So once again, pretty chilly to start, and there may be some areas of frost outside as you are heading out the door, but overall going to be a very nice fall-like day today through Thursday. A very nice week ahead with dry conditions, and we will be slowly warming up throughout the week, but overall beautiful weather. Great time to sit outside on the patio, get some fresh air, go for a walk or run, or maybe eat outside. It is going to be a beautiful fall week. Looking ahead to the weekend, though, our temperatures will drop to below average. That will really drive our fall foliage report to change. So as of right now, we are looking at midpoint for north and south of the Mohawk Valley with just a little color in the Mohawk Valley, but this is going to change as we start to get a little bit cooler. We will reach right near peak for the north and south Mohawk Valley probably next week, and midpoint for the Mohawk Valley. But as for today, we will warm up to the mid-50s around lunchtime and near 60 for the late afternoon with partly cloudy skies. A great day to spend outside. And as for tonight, we will remain partly cloudy with possibility of some frost again as our overnight lows fall into the 30s. As for tomorrow, we will continue to remain dry, but more clouds than sun with highs in the low 60s. And we will warm up even more on Wednesday with highs in the mid 60s, but we will remain dry with partly cloudy skies. So as for today, we are going to see temperatures right near 60, comfortable weather today, a pleasant day to spend outside, and our next chance of frost is possible for overnight tonight. But this week we will slowly be warming up each day with highs reaching near 70 on Thursday. A cold front moves through Friday that drops our temperature for the weekend.
And it's a good one on this Monday. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans. Good morning to you, Hannah. Or good afternoon, that is.
Good afternoon, Gary. At this point, we're still a little bit cool with temperatures in the 50s, but we will warm up and continue to see sunshine today. So as of right now, once again, temperatures ranging in the upper 40s to lower 50s, just 52 degrees in Inlet and Whitesboro, 49 degrees in Richfield Springs. But we will warm up to right near 60 for the high temperature today. We are still tracking dry conditions thanks to a high pressure system that does look to stick around through the end of the week. Beautiful fall day in store. Make sure you get outside and enjoy it with some sunshine, calm wind speeds, and we are remaining dry at least until the end of the week. For today through Thursday, looks like 4 nice dry days to head outside with a nice fall week ahead. Our temperatures do look to drop next weekend, though, as a cold front moves through on Friday. But for today, sunshine is expected, highs reaching right near 60, and I will be talking a little bit more about the temperature change coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has prepared its largest ever search and rescue operation in the wake of Hurricane Ian's destruction in Florida. At least 87 storm-related deaths have now been confirmed in Florida and North Carolina, with that number likely to rise. NBC's Chris Pallone joins us from Fort Myers Beach, Florida, with more.
You see a long line of cars behind me at a checkpoint here heading into Fort Myers Beach. Officials say no more residents can go over to that area. Instead, it's focusing on search and rescue efforts. And so we've seen a lot of teams from places like Pennsylvania and Texas heading over the bridge into the beachfront area. Over the weekend, Rescue teams were able to recover 2,000 people and 150 pets and bring them to safety. Those efforts continue on today. They're hoping to find more people that they can bring to safety. NBC News has confirmed that at least 87 people have died because of Hurricane Ian, 4 of them in the Carolinas and then the rest here in Florida. Good news when it comes to power. The number of homes without electricity down to 600,000 from a high of about 2.6 million. But in some places, it could be days or weeks before they get the power back on because the grid will have to be rebuilt from the ground up. This is not just a coastal problem here in Florida. There is still inland flooding going on. So much rain fell that rivers and streams are continuing to rise in some areas. And so rescue efforts are underway in those hard-hit flooded areas to get people out of their homes if they want to leave. But the governor of Florida did say there is some good news for people who live on Pine Island. That's a fishing village that's just off the coast of Florida. Its only road was damaged, but the governor says that they might be able to build a temporary road so people can get in and out of Pine Island easily by this weekend. In Fort Myers Beach, Florida, I'm Chris Pallone, NBC News.
Chris, thanks. Hurricane Ian also left a path of destruction on Matlacha Island in Florida. Check this out right here. The storm wiped out the island, reducing homes to piles of rubble and flinging boats into yards. Due to the destruction of a bridge and a road from Cape Coral, the town has no exit or entry by car. A makeshift bridge was created to help get pedestrians through. However, that bridge is considered unstable and unsafe by officials. The U.S. Coast Guard and military have been bringing water and supplies to the island during the day, but it is unknown when residents will ask to be fully evacuated for their safety. And President Biden and the First Lady will head to Puerto Rico and Florida in the coming days to see the after effects of 2 hurricanes. Puerto Rico is still dealing with the devastation from Hurricane Fiona. On top of flooding and collapsed bridges there, almost all of the island still without power. The President and First Lady will be in Puerto Rico later today and head to Florida on Wednesday. And another bus carrying migrants from Texas arrived outside the Vice President's residence early this morning in Washington, D.C. Roughly 50 migrants were dropped off near Vice President Kamala Harris's home and the U.S. Navy Observatory just after 7 a.m. Many of those migrants, including men, women, and children, say they are from Venezuela. They were greeted by volunteers as they got off the bus, who then began to sort them into groups based on needs. Multiple buses per week carrying migrants from Texas are continuing to arrive in Washington, D.C. as part of Texas Governor Greg Abbott's Operation Lone Star. Well, if you live in Ilion, you may still have some discolored water.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. A beautiful fall day is in store for today with high temperatures reaching near 60 and partly cloudy skies. So let's take a look now at the Cavie Tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. We can see partly cloudy skies and some fall foliage on our trees up here on top of Smith Hill. And it is still a little bit cool with temperatures in the 50s, but we will reach right near 60 later this afternoon. And we are still tracking dry conditions. This is our Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Dry conditions for most of this week thanks to this area of high pressure giving us beautiful fall weather, and we will slowly start to warm up towards the end of the week. According to our Skywatchers, we are just in the 50s here at noon, just 50 degrees in Old Forge, even still 49 degrees in Otsego and 42 degrees in Clinton. But we will reach right near 60 today and we will see the sunshine. It is a beautiful fall day to spend outside, and we are slowly going to warm up as the week progresses. So tomorrow we will be in the low 60s, mid 60s on Wednesday, and then right near 70 on Thursday. But Friday morning, a cold front looks to move through, bringing in a few scattered showers, so that is when our next precipitation looks to occur on Friday, and that will kind of break the temperature for the weekend. Over this weekend, high temperatures only look to be in the upper 40s to low 50s, so we will start to be below average heading into the weekend and into next week in terms of temperature. So this week it is going to be a little bit warmer with temperatures ranging in the 60s all week. Great time to spend outside. We are going to be dry through Thursday. I would say yes if you wanted to go outside anytime through Thursday with our our next chance of precipitation on Friday. And looking ahead to when we start seeing those cooler weather that happens this weekend and next week, our fall foliage report definitely is going to change. As of right now, we are at midpoint for north and south of the Mohawk Valley, and just a little bit of color in the Mohawk Valley. But looking ahead to next week, definitely near peak for north and south in the Mohawk Valley, and we will reach midpoint for the Mohawk Valley, looking to be next week when we start to see those cooler temperatures come in for the weekend. But as for today, we are going to be seeing temperatures right near 60. That looks to be later on this afternoon, and partly cloudy skies continue throughout the whole day. And as for tonight, overnight lows drop into the 30s, so it is possible to see some frost in outlying areas tonight. Tomorrow we remain dry, but a little bit extra cloud cover throughout the day. Highs are going to reach the low 60s, and then heading into Wednesday, partly cloudy skies return with high temperatures reaching the mid 60s. So we will be slowly warming up towards the end of this week. So for today, expect highs near 60, a mix of sun and clouds, but overall a beautiful fall day to spend outside. And tonight, a low in the mid 30s. It is going to be chilly once again with frost possible in outlying areas. So we will warm up through Thursday with highs reaching near 70 on Thursday. A cold front moves through Friday, bringing in just a few scattered showers, but that will drop our temperature for the weekend. Back to you, Gary.
Anna, thanks. We've got an important recall to tell you about this noon. Some chiefs of Russia's parliament approved laws today on annexing 4 occupied Ukrainian territories into Russia. This comes following referendums that Ukraine and the West denounced as illegitimate. Meanwhile, Ukrainian troops continue to push forward with their offensive, taking back territory in the strategic southern region of Kherson. NBC's Erin McLaughlin has more now from Ukraine.
Overnight, Ukrainian forces reclaiming territory, this time to the south of the country. President Zelensky announcing that 2 settlements have been reclaimed overnight, bringing them closer to the Russian-occupied city of Kherson. This after raising the Ukrainian flag in a key transport hub in the east, opening the door to reclaiming more lost land in the Donbass. This just days after the Russian president declared large chunks of Ukraine part of Russian territory forever, while accusing the West of trying to weaken and destroy his country. Ukraine's battlefield momentum eliciting a threat over the weekend from a Putin ally, the leader of Chechnya, calling for more drastic measures, including the use of low-yield nuclear weapons. Meanwhile, in the recently liberated village of Kamyanka, the Russian assault and occupation scarring the landscape there. We spoke to one 36-year-old resident who talked of just the relentless bombardment. This over the weekend, we heard from 9 of the 30 NATO member states backing a pathway to join NATO for Ukraine. Erin McLaughlin, NBC News, Kharkiv, Ukraine.
Erin, thanks. Time for a first look at the weather in this half hour. Once again, here is meteorologist Hannah Evans.
It is a very nice and pleasant day outside. It is going to warm up as well, with high temperatures looking to reach near 60. But as of right now, we are still ranging in the upper 40s to low 50s. So we do have 53 degrees in Whitesboro and Inlet, 49 degrees in Richfield Springs here at noon. But once again, we will warm up to right near 60 for the high temperature. And we are remaining dry thanks to an area of high pressure. We look to remain dry through the middle to end of this week, with our next chance of rain not looking to be until Friday. So today is going to be a beautiful fall day. Make sure you get outside and enjoy it. And once again, remaining dry through Thursday. We are also going to slowly warm up through this week, with highs reaching near 70 by Thursday. But then next weekend, we do drop in temperature to below average temperatures due to a cold front. So let's enjoy this week ahead today. Nice fall week ahead with cooler weather coming in next week. So for today, highs will reach right near 60, calm wind speeds, and we are tracking partly cloudy skies. And I will be talking about those lower temperatures coming up. Back to you, Gary.
Hannah, thanks. We have an update on the missing Marcy woman, 7, and is expected to climb. We have the latest from the disaster zone. Here's NBC's Sam Brock near hard-hit Pine Island.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Ian, round-the-clock rescues have been going on for days.
Rick, can we get you out of here, all right?
From the air and the water, first responders trying to help desperate residents. The death toll now approaching triple digits, nearly half of them in Lee County. Search and rescue teams combing islands cut off from the mainland, including Sanibel, Captiva, and Pine Island, looking for survivors. A chorus of questions surfacing about why Lee County didn't issue mandatory evacuations until Tuesday morning, one day before Ian hit. The sheriff blaming the storm's constantly shifting track.
There are indications that Lee County's comprehensive emergency management plan was ignored.
I'm going to cut you off before we even go any further. We did what we had to do at the exact same time. I wouldn't have changed anything.
By Monday night, the National Hurricane Center warned areas in Lee County, including Fort Myers, were in danger of life-threatening storm surge. But the county didn't start ordering evacuations until the next morning, hours after neighboring Charlotte County put out its evacuation orders.
They're telling us that we need to evacuate. We don't have places to go. We have no cars to get there.
The storm rushed in. Much of the area, including Fort Myers Beach, now hardly recognizable. But it's hardly just these coastal communities that are suffering. Even after the storm passed, a levee breach in Sarasota County, threatening some 70 homes over the weekend. Officials telling us the levee is still compromised. But help is pouring in from all directions. Jose Andres' World Kitchen and other charities are in some of the hardest hit areas. A lack of water also impacting hospitals, forcing them to transfer patients old and young, including NICU infants. For Tiffany Henning, a new mom of twins, the move was frightening.
Knowing that my baby needs help with breathing support and is dependent on running power, it was very scary.
The twins ultimately transferred by helicopter to a nearby hospital with power, and we're told they're doing well.
NBC's Sam Brock reporting. And we've learned that one of those killed in the massive storm is an Ohio woman killed while celebrating her 40th birthday. 4 women were in Fort Myers, Florida, celebrating Nichelle Harris Miles' 40th, but officials say the storm tore down the roof off of their hotel room and flying debris hit Harris Miles, killing her. One of the women was recording the storm on Facebook as a way to check in with loved ones as the water began rushing into their hotel room. Pittsburgh police are still looking into the death of a football fan after the Steelers.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Hannah Evans.
Good afternoon, everybody. A beautiful fall day is expected today with sunshine and highs reaching near 60. Let's take a look now at the CAV tower camera overlooking the city of Utica. Partly cloudy skies, and we can see the leaves changing on our trees up here on top of Smith Hill. It still is a little bit cool, but temperatures today will reach right near 60. And taking a look now at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar, we are tracking dry conditions once again for today. This is due to this area of high pressure that is going to be staying in our area through most of the week, bringing dry and pleasant weather. But here at noon, according to our Skywatcher, still a bit chilly, still 49 degrees in Otsego, 50 degrees in Old Forge, and 54 degrees in Mohawk. We will reach right near 60 today, and we will continue to warm up as the week progresses, with highs reaching the low 60s tomorrow and in the mid 60s on Wednesday. Even on Thursday, we will be right near 70 degrees. But a cold front looks to move through Friday. That brings in our next chance of some precipitation, and that also drops our temperature to below average, just the upper 40s to low 50s over the weekend, and that looks to continue next week. So make sure you spend some time outside for this week. It is going to be very beautiful. Temperatures are going to be in the 60s for today through Thursday, and we are going to be seeing partly cloudy skies. So beautiful fall week is in store with changing temperatures coming for the weekend and next week. And as those temperatures change, our fall foliage map is definitely going to progress. As of right now, we are at midpoint for north and south of the Mohawk Valley. Just a little bit of color in the Mohawk Valley, but definitely when we start to see those lower temperatures, it will change to near peak for north and south of the Mohawk Valley and midpoint for the Mohawk Valley. So for today, we will reach right near 60, and that will be later this afternoon with partly cloudy skies, a nice day to spend outside. And tonight, it is possible to see some frost in outlying areas due to overnight lows being in the 30s. Tomorrow, we will be seeing a little bit extra cloud cover, but still remaining dry with highs in the low 60s. And then heading into Wednesday, partly cloudy skies come back in. Rain just misses us just to the south. We do look to remain dry for both of these days. High temperatures are going to reach the mid-60s on Wednesday. But for today, highs are going to reach the low 60s, a mix of sun and clouds today. Beautiful day to spend outside. And tonight, partly cloudy skies continue with cooler weather, lows just in the 30s. It is possible to see some frost tonight, but we will warm up for the middle and end of the week with highs reaching near 70 on Thursday. A cold front moves through Friday, bringing in some scattered showers, and that drops our temperature for the weekend. Back to you, Gary.
Chilly overnight.
Yes, definitely chilly overnight.
Anna, thanks. We head overseas now to Indonesia.
Door to door, trying to find survivors and victims of Hurricane Ian. The storm is now being blamed for 100 deaths in the U.S. And as Chris Pallone reports, it's a race against time to find people who might still be trapped.
5 days after Ian struck, people still stranded in the hardest hit areas of southwest Florida are at a loss.
My biggest concern is what to do.
Unsure how to get help to start piecing together what's left of their lives.
We can't even rent a car. There's nothing available. You know, generators, you can't get a generator. Our generator, we had a fabulous one, went underwater. So that's gone. So
understood.
You know, so we need some help somehow.
We're going to get
search teams going door to door to figure out who lived and who died, trying to reassure storm victims help is on the way.
The most important thing is you're alive.
Yes, we
Your
are.
family's alive.
Yeah, we are. We're
All
safe.
things can be replaced.
Rescuers spent the weekend taking more than 2,000 people and 150 pets to safety. They also found more people who did not survive. The number of people killed now approaching triple digits. Most fatalities happened in Lee County, where officials bristle at the suggestion they were too late issuing a mandatory evacuation order.
The second that we could and should issue that order, I'm confident that we did. Again, we wouldn't change anything. And also, I also understand that there are some people that don't want to leave their homes. We cannot force them to leave their homes. That's their homes. But we can do everything we can to educate them and make sure they're aware.
The mayor of one of Ian's hardest hit areas, Fort Myers Beach, says he has compassion for those who couldn't or wouldn't leave before the storm.
And for those that don't go, you know, and have suffered the consequences of that, I feel for them. You know, when it's time to go, you got to go.
As the cleanup continues, people here continue to search for any bit of normality they can find. Chris Pallone, NBC News, Fort Myers Beach, Florida.
Just ahead, President Biden plans for a trip to Florida while today visiting Puerto Rico to survey the damage from Hurricane Fiona 2 weeks ago. That's new at 5:30.
We spoke with a Clinton native today who lived through the storm as a Naples resident.
News Channel 2's Ben Kinney spoke with Michael Khalil about what he and his wife experienced during the hurricane. Ben, good evening.
Good evening, Jason and Kristen. According to Khalil, he wasn't worried about the storm at first. Michael Khalil expected everything to be business as usual by Thursday when he closed his golf course in Naples, Florida, a week ago Monday.
Monday, we were going about our day. You know, we decided to close our businesses for Tuesday, Wednesday, and we all thought Thursday would be back to normal. Everybody would be happy and just be another tropical storm, but
it wasn't just another tropical storm. The Clinton native and 2013 Notre Dame high school grad is now a golf pro in Naples, Florida. Despite being in an evacuation zone, he rode out Hurricane Ian at home with his wife, a home the couple just moved into this past New Year's Eve, just days before they got married.
And just sitting on the couch with our puppy and just hearing this wind, you're just thinking, is everything that we've built, you know, this past year just going to go?
According to Khalil, the winds started early in the morning on Wednesday. By the late morning, they were in the worst of it.
Trees were bending halfway. The lights started to flicker on and off. The AC would go on and off. And you could just hear it sounded like a freight train outside. It was pretty scary.
A short time later, they lost power. Once the storm had passed, it became clear that Khalil's home had sustained minimal damage. His wife's business in downtown Naples was not as lucky.
You know, my wife's business, which is in downtown Naples, they had 5 feet of water inside her building. They're completely gutting it out this past weekend, and today she's there just throwing everything away, and they have to just completely start over.
Coming up at 6, I'll tell you what Khalil did in the storm's aftermath to lend a hand. Jason, Kristen?
All right, Ben, thank you. Now let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis for a look at our weather today.
Weather locally looking pretty nice. We saw a mix of sunshine and clouds. The weather will stay pretty quiet and warm up over the next couple of days. The high clouds are from the remnants of Ian, still affecting our weather in a very small way, bringing us some cloud cover. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet. Our temperature is 56 degrees. We have a high overcast, and that is going to keep temperatures from falling quite as much, although we do have the chance of seeing some patchy frost tonight. I think a lot of areas do drop down into the 30s, so if you're trying to keep that garden going, you're going to have to cover up the plants again or bring them inside. Faded sunshine tomorrow afternoon. Some warmer weather, unseasonably warm weather here later this week, followed by the coolest weather we've seen so far this season, just in time for the weekend. Pleasant weather this evening. Enjoy it. Temperatures will be in the 50s. Again, tracking some swings in the temperature, as well as their next chance of rain. Look at that forecast is coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. The recently passed temporary
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We continue to track a high overcast that will be lingering around for the next couple of days. Let's go ahead and take a look outside. This is our CAVB tower cam, and we are looking at a high overcast across the area. And this might end up leading to a pretty nice sunset as we head later into this evening. We'll be on the lookout for that. I think it could go either way. The clouds are a little thick right now, but they might end up thinning out just a little bit before sunset, which is nowadays about 6:45. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Fall colors are emerging across all of central New York, and it's happening fast. Some of these cool nights we've had really accelerating the change. This picture from Andrew Jones in Sequoia, lots of nice color showing up across the entire area. We'll have an update on the fall foliage forecast here on Wednesday to give you an idea of what to expect for the upcoming weekend. But I think it's safe to say that the higher elevations are near peak, and we're about halfway turned over in a good portion of the Mohawk Valley. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet. We have more frost chances ahead. I wanted to highlight a couple of nights that we're watching. Tonight, frost is going to be possible in the outlying areas, likely to the north. Frost will also be possible tomorrow night. We'll get a break from the frost here for the middle and end of the week, but then by the weekend, some of the chilliest weather we've seen so far this season will be arriving Saturday, and that could lead to a widespread freeze heading into Saturday night. We will keep you posted. Temperatures this evening, Dolgeville 56, as well as Little Falls, Whitesboro 56 as well, Westmoreland 57, across the southern valleys, Sherburne 56, Cooperstown 54, and Skanevis with 50 degrees. We've got, again, nice weather if you're taking the dog out for a walk. Again, sunset's about 6:45. Tonight's featured dog is Lucy from Ilion. And if you want to be part of this, head to Bill's Buddies on Facebook. A couple of warm days ahead, followed by some chilly weather. We're near 70 by Thursday, but then we're into the 40s by Saturday. And as we look at the bigger picture, we're going to be tracking some high clouds from the leftovers of Ian, still producing some rain along the coast, but it should stay to our south. And we're just looking at high clouds here for tonight. Again, temperatures drop down into the 30s. Generally nice day tomorrow, mostly cloudy, just faded sunshine throughout the course of the day. We're dry as we head into Wednesday as well as Thursday. Some patchy frost is possible tonight, down to 36 tomorrow. Faded sunshine, highs in the low 60s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The weather, again, looking a lot cooler as we head into the weekend. Saturday, 48 degrees. Sunday is looking generally dry. The one and only day of rain looks to be on Friday with that cold front. Temperatures in the upper 50s heading into Columbus Day. Already showing up in the extended forecast. Yeah, time's flying.
It really is. All right, Bill, thank you.
Yeah.
A call to U.S. doctors from this life are thankful they only received minor damage to their house in Naples from Hurricane Ian. Michael Khalil, a 2013 Notre Dame grad, is a golf pro in Naples. His wife's business received significant flooding from the storm. Good evening once again. This week, President Biden and the First Lady visit two areas devastated by two hurricanes. Today, they went to Puerto Rico to survey the damage from Hurricane Fiona.
And on Wednesday, the president will visit Florida, where the death toll is still rising from Hurricane Ian. Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
2 hurricanes within the span of 2 weeks, bringing historic destruction to Puerto Rico and southwest Florida, where urgent rescues are still underway.
Can we get you out of here, all right?
President Biden bringing the weight of the White House to both disaster zones this week, starting today in Puerto Rico, where thousands are still without power 15 days after Hurricane Fiona hit.
We came here in person to show that we're with you. All of America's with you. And you deserve every bit of help your country can give you. That's what I'm determined to do, and that's what I promise you.
The president announcing more than $60 million from the bipartisan infrastructure law will go to strengthen Puerto Rico's levees and flood walls and create a new flood warning system ahead of future storms. On Wednesday, President Biden travels to Florida to witness the devastating aftermath of Hurricane Ian. With the death toll now topping 100, crews from FEMA are combing through the wreckage in their largest ever search and rescue operation.
They have said on Sanibel it was the most intense thing that they've seen.
Officials in hard-hit Lee County defending their response amid questions over why mandatory evacuation orders didn't go out until Tuesday morning, 1 day before Ian hit.
We did what we had to do at the exact same time. I wouldn't have changed anything.
Volunteers rushing to supply food. Many hospitals without running water forced to evacuate vulnerable patients. The long road to recovery only just beginning. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Let's get you back to the Weather Center with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. The colors are coming out, aren't they?
Yeah, things are changing very fast across central New York. The leaves are near peak in the higher elevations. Let's take a look at some fall colors, some local pictures. This picture from Dave Delachaise, a beautiful shot there over in Marcy. Another one from Beverly in St. Johnsville. Again, lots and lots of color to be seen, not too far away. Again, the peak color this weekend taking place in some of those higher elevations. We're about a week and a half away from seeing peak color arrive in some of the lower elevations, including the Mohawk Valley. And with this type of weather that we're looking at, looking ahead for the next week to week and a half, temperatures look to remain below average. We have some warmer weather over the next couple of days, but in general, it is going to cool down beginning this weekend. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Stern Tracker 2 Doppler radar, looking at dry conditions. Some high clouds out there from the remnants of Hurricane Ian that will continue to somewhat affect our weather here over the next couple of days. We got some warmer weather ahead. Look at that forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Hydrant flushing continues.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We continue to track a pleasant stretch of weather here in Central New York. Some high clouds out there this evening. This is live looking in Cooperstown. These clouds are thick enough, but not so thick that you can't see the sun. To the north, the clouds are thinner, and that's where we should see a nice sunset taking place later this evening. Here's a live look at the Yorkville Battery Stern Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Again, all is quiet, all is dry across the region, and that will be the case tonight. With those high clouds in place, it might be tough to spot this, especially south of the Mohawk Valley, but I think if you live in and north of the valley, the clouds won't be as thick. This is the International Space Station. The flyby tonight is 7:09, and this is a longer flyby. It's in the sky for 7 minutes. The maximum height of 64 degrees above the horizon, so that's a pretty high flyby. We don't have very many more opportunities as we look ahead to this week. As the orbit keeps changing, eventually it'll become too early for us to watch this here, and it looks like we'll lose our opportunities for the middle of the month. Beautiful weather here. This is from Bonnie in Pico. Look at the fall color along Route 8. And this picture from Carroll, Bald Mountain. Lots of color showing up in the higher elevations near peak color over the next several days. Some frost in the forecast as well. We have several chances for frost as we look ahead, one of them being tonight. Skywatchers checking in the 50s, Forestport 53, West Leiden 55 degrees across the southern valleys, Paints Hollow 56, and Carroll and Worcester checking in with 51. Some cooler weather is ahead. We'll get into the 70s before that arrives. So again, a little bit of a warm up here over the next few days, and then some chilly weather heading into the weekend. The remnants of Hurricane Ian still on the map tonight, bringing rain to the mid-Atlantic. This will stay south. We'll see some high clouds from that tonight. Some patchy frost is possible. Thinking overnight lows drop down into the mid-30s. Heading into tomorrow, mostly cloudy skies. A dry day is expected. Temperatures climb into the upper 50s to low 60s. The weather remains dry as we look ahead to Wednesday. High pressure will be driving our weather. And on the backside of the high, the winds turn into the south. And that's going to allow for temperatures to warm up. We're climbing into the upper 60s to near 70 heading into Wednesday afternoon. Patchy frost tonight, down to 36 tomorrow. Faded sunshine, temperatures in the low 60s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Warming up into the upper 60s Wednesday, low 70s Thursday. A strong cold front arrives Friday that brings rain and a big drop in the temperature. We're only talking about highs in the 40s on Saturday. Frost chances Saturday night, mid-50s Sunday and Monday with partly sunny skies. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're taking a look at more beautiful local fall foliage pictures. Stay with us.
Hurricane Ian's destruction in Florida, FEMA continues its largest ever search and rescue operation. At least 100 storm-related deaths have been confirmed in Florida and North Carolina, and that number is expected to rise. The number of homes without electricity are around 600,000, down from the high of nearly 2.6 million. Rescue teams have recovered more than 2,000 people and 150 pets. These rescue efforts will continue throughout the week as teams are hoping to find more people they can bring to safety. On the Live at 5 News Hour, we talked about a Clinton native and what he and his wife experienced during the storm. Their home is in Naples, Florida.
News Channel 2's Ben Kinney spoke with Michael Khalil today about how he helped in the storm's aftermath. Ben, good evening.
Good evening, Kristen and Jason. And while Michael Khalil and his wife made it through the storm okay, they knew others were not as lucky. Clinton native Michael Khalil and his wife feel very lucky that they were able to escape Hurricane Ian with only minor damage to their home. Once cell service returned, he realized not everyone was as lucky.
You know, you get cell phone service and the first thing you think of nowadays is when I go on Facebook. So you go on Facebook and you see people just sharing photos, you know, college friends now that their homes are just flattened.
Khalil now works as a golf pro at a golf course in Naples. He says that around 95% of the members live in downtown Naples, one of the hardest hit areas. The clubhouse did not sustain any damage. So as soon as they had power, Khalil decided to open it up to allow members a place to clean up.
So we opened it up for members to come in, take a shower, get on the internet if they wanted to, and you just see these people walk in with just looking like a ghost. Like they don't have words because they just have lost everything. It's heartbreaking. It really, truly is.
According to Khalil, Hurricane Ian and the path of destruction left behind will forever change Naples and the surrounding areas, and will also serve as a reminder of Mother Nature's power.
You know, it definitely just reminds you that Mother Nature is just powerful and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And, you know, maybe next time when you start watching the hurricane track of, you know, where is it going to go, maybe you take extra precautions that day early. Maybe you do get water a little bit earlier in the last minute.
Khalil is very thankful that he and his wife were able to make it out safely after a scary day last Wednesday. Jason, Kristen?
All right, Ben, thank you.
Let's get you over to the Weather Center and Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Our weather continues to stay pretty quiet locally. We are still seeing some clouds today and over the next few days from the remnants of Hurricane Ian. Also, another thing that's been changing rapidly, the fall color. This picture from Susan Evans in Big Moose, this was taken on Friday. We have peak color emerging across the area, and it's happening fast. I think a lot of these cool nights are really accelerating the process. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet. Current temperature is 53 degrees tonight. Frost is possible again, especially in the outlying areas as overnight lows drop down into the mid-30s. Faded sunshine tomorrow. Some warmer weather as we head later into this week, followed by some of the coolest weather that we've seen so far this season, just in time for the weekend. Pleasant this evening. Temperatures in the 50s. Tracking some swings in the temperature over the next few days. Look at that forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. The national average price for gasoline is up 7 cents in the last.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis.
Good evening. Tracking some pleasant weather ahead. Temperatures are going to warm up over the next couple of days. Let's take a live look outside. This is our CAV tower cam. The high clouds that we've experienced today over the past several days are from the leftovers of what was once Hurricane Ian. This should lead to a nice sunset tonight, especially for those of you living in and north of the Mohawk Valley. I think south of the valley, the clouds will be too thick, but either way, it's worth checking out. The sunset nowadays is about 6:45. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet. We also have the International Space Station making an appearance tonight. It flies by at 7:09 for 7 minutes. This looks to be a pretty high pass in the sky, so it's generally brighter the higher that it goes. And sky conditions, again, looking at some high overcast, should be able to see part of it as it makes its way across the region. Fall color emerging, this picture from Robbie Johnson in Forestport. We've got near peak color emerging along those higher elevations over the next couple of days. And we also have frost in the forecast too. And I think that's what's really helping to accelerate the process of the leaves changing. Frost is possible tonight as well as tomorrow night, especially in the outlying areas. Later this week, especially into the weekend, I wanted to highlight Saturday. It's down the road, but I think by the weekend, we may have some of the chilliest weather we've seen so far this season arrive, and that could lead to more frost Saturday night. Barneveld, 56 degrees, Forestport, 53, Old Forge, 56, Paynes Hollow, 56, and Worcester checking in with 51. We've got some warmer weather over the next couple of days. We're into the 60s tomorrow, close to 70 by Wednesday and Thursday, but a strong cold front arrives, and that is going to bring a large drop in the temperature. The weather over the next few days, again, being driven by the remnants of Ian, which continues to bring rain across the mid-Atlantic. The system will head to the south, and in general, our weather will turn sunnier here over the next couple of days. Mostly cloudy skies tonight. Again, that high overcast around during the day tomorrow, faded sunshine. We start out with temperatures in the 40s. We'll climb into the upper 50s in the afternoon. The weather on Wednesday looks sunnier with high pressure driving in from the north, helping to clear skies out. Patchy frost tonight down to 36. Faded sunshine tomorrow. A generally nice fall day with a light wind. A high of 62. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Warm for the middle of the week. Wednesday and Thursday temperatures near 70. That strong front arrives on Wednesday. It brings on Friday, I should say, and it brings us some rain. Temperatures in the 50s. Chilly over the weekend. Only the 40s on Saturday. Mid-50s Sunday and Monday. Back over to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. Still to come on News Channel 2 at 6. The best plays caught by our cameras last week. Whittles, thank you for joining us. As rescue crews continue searching for survivors in Florida, the death toll from Hurricane Ian continues to rise. At least 104 people are confirmed dead, and officials fear that number will continue to go up. Meanwhile, some are questioning whether evacuation orders were given out too late. Gloria Pazmino has our top story from Fort Myers, Florida.
Parts of Florida's southwestern coast are unrecognizable days after Hurricane Ian slammed into the Sunshine State just shy of a Category 5 storm. Rescue crews have saved thousands of people stranded in their homes, but still, many more need help.
Trying to get that assistance here has not been easy, but I know that I've been in contact with some folks on the East Coast who are sending volunteers over this week to try to assist these folks.
Many major roadways are still flooded. Power and cell service are still down for many, making the rescue efforts even harder.
No phones, nothing.
Tanya Werner has been desperately trying to get a hold of her father, who was taken to the hospital on a ventilator. With their phone lines down, she's had no contact with him or hospital staff.
I don't even know if he's alive.
More than 100 people are confirmed dead in Florida. More than 50 of those deaths are in Lee County alone, where some are now questioning whether evacuation orders were given too late. Officials there defending their decisions.
I am confident in our county manager, our leaders, our governor, all of us in law enforcement, that we got that message out at the right time. Now, whether people listen to it, we can't force people out of their homes, but we can continuously say, look, mandatory evacuation.
In Fort Myers Beach, I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
Clinton native Michael Khalil and his wife rode out the hurricane in Naples, Florida, and were fortunate not to have any severe damage from the storm. Now, Khalil works as a golf pro at a golf course in Naples, and he says that about 95% of the members live in downtown Naples, one of the hardest hit areas. The clubhouse at his course didn't sustain any damage, so Khalil decided to open it up and allow members a place to come in and clean up.
So we opened it up for members to come in, take a shower, get on the internet if they wanted to, and you just see these people walk in with just looking like a ghost, like they don't have words because they just have lost everything. It's heartbreaking. It really, truly is. You know, it definitely just reminds you that Mother Nature is just powerful and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And you know, maybe next time when you start watching the hurricane track of, you know, where is it going to go, maybe you take extra precautions that day early. Maybe you do get water a little bit earlier in the last minute.
Khalil and his wife consider themselves lucky there was little damage to their home, but this storm will leave a permanent mark on Naples and serve as a reminder of Mother Nature's power. Continuing coverage of a story that we first brought to you on Sunday, residents of a local mobile home park have been without water for 3 days, and they're still waiting. According to an attorney, let's get over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Good evening, Bill.
Good evening, Jason. Good evening, everyone. We're tracking some beautiful fall colors starting to emerge in central New York. In this picture, Bald Mountain Pond. A big thank you to Carl for taking that photo. We're looking at near peak color in the higher elevations here as we head throughout this week. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet. Our weather remains dry. We're still seeing the effects of what was once Hurricane Ian, bringing us some high clouds. And it's also going to allow temperatures to cool off this evening. Current temperatures 43. Winds are calm. As we look at weather conditions over the next couple of days, if you have to rake the leaves or mow the yard, it looks like the weather's going to cooperate. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, a dry and warmer stretch of weather is ahead. Tonight, overnight lows drop down into the mid-30s. Some patchy frost is possible, especially north of the Mohawk Valley. We are tracking some warmer days ahead, but a big drop in the temperatures on the horizon. We're tracking those changes ahead, and that's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. The man that was sentenced to time served. Hurricane Ian has unleashed mass destruction across multiple states, and the effects from the storm are far from over. Ian is now expected to deliver a sharp blow to Florida's economy and the short run, and may even put a dent in the national economy. Chris Wynn has the latest new tonight.
The wrath of Hurricane Ian leaving nothing behind for many.
It's really tough down here. It's an unbelievable loss of life, and we still have people that they hope are alive that they're still trying to rescue. So please pray for each one of those.
Fort Myers Beach no longer exists. I mean, it'll have to be rebuilt. It'll be something different. It was a slice of old Florida that you can't recapture.
On top of dealing with mass destruction comes a new threat: scams. In hard-hit Fort Myers, police are warning of possible repair, tree service, and water testing and treatment scams. And in Orange County, officials are warning people to not fall for FEMA insurance scams.
You walk into someone's house and you try to prey on someone who just took a hit like this, I can guarantee you, as the sheriff, you will walk in, you will be carried out. I ain't playing.
Now, the impact of Ian has local economies on track to take a severe hit. The shutdown of major tourist destinations like theme parks and beaches, along with the disruption of energy production and the destruction of crops in the region, including Florida's citrus industry, is triggering the potential slash of up to 3 percentage points from Florida's third quarter gross domestic product growth, according to Oxford Economics. In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
And while we're talking about the economy, the national average price for gasoline rose 7 cents in the last week. However, right here in New York State, the average price for a gallon of gas dropped 8 cents. That's according to AAA.
From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. Welcome back. We're taking a live look outside overlooking the city of Utica. This is our CAB tower cam. Turning out to be a nice night across the area. Wanted to show more photos, sharing some of your pictures with us. This picture from Molly in Alder Creek. This is along the Brea Trail. Look at this great view. Beautiful color. This is pretty any season long, especially in the wintertime. A great place to ski. Also, a great photo here from Macaulay Mountain. Also a great place to ski from Stephen, capturing some fantastic color. great weather over the next couple of days. We have conditions that are near peak across the area, especially those higher elevations. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. It is looking dry tonight. With some cooler weather around, I wanted to highlight a couple of nights that we've got to watch for possible frosts. Tonight being one of them, especially north of the Mohawk Valley, we could see some spots of frost, as well as tomorrow night. We'll get a big break from any chances for frost Wednesday and Thursday night, and then the risk starts to increase again, especially by Saturday. Saturday night, some of the coolest weather so far this season is expected, and we could be seeing a widespread frost, if not a freeze, just based on how things play out. We'll be keeping an eye on that. A chilly start to the day, but we warm up really fast. We go from 30s to 60s by the afternoon time, and there's expected to be a very light wind. So overall, a pretty nice day is expected, and enjoy it because we've got some cooler weather ahead. Temperatures in the upper 60s Wednesday, low 70s Thursday, and then the chill arrives as we head into the weekend with temperatures only in the 40s by Saturday afternoon. High clouds from the leftovers of what was once Hurricane Ian continue to impact our weather. The northern fringe of the rain is expected to make its way into downstate New York, but I do think it'll stay away from us. We're expecting some high clouds to arrive as we head throughout the day tomorrow. Temperatures start out in the 40s, and it's a generally overcast day, but it's those high clouds. So at times we will see some faded sunshine. Tomorrow night the weather looks pretty quiet, mostly cloudy skies. And then on Wednesday, high pressure is expected to deflect these clouds to the south, and we'll get a chance to dry out and warm up with temperatures in the upper 60s. Patchy frost tonight down to 36. Faded sunshine tomorrow, highs in the low 60s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. We're dry and we're warm for most of the week, but then Friday happens. We've got a cold front. That brings us some rain and a big drop in temperature. We're into the 40s on Saturday and back into the 50s Sunday and Monday. Jason.
Bill, thank you. Coming up next, one longtime and Jason Paulus, and thank you for joining us. As rescue crews continue searching for survivors in Florida, the death toll from Hurricane Ian rises. At least 104 people are confirmed dead, and officials fear that number will continue to go up. Meanwhile, some are questioning whether or not the evacuation orders were given out too late. Reporter Gloria Pazmino has the latest in our top story from Fort Myers, Florida.
Parts of Florida's southwestern coast are unrecognizable days after Hurricane Ian slammed into the Sunshine State just shy of a Category 5 storm. Rescue crews have saved thousands of people stranded in their homes, but still, many more need help.
Trying to get that assistance here has not been easy, but I know that I've been in contact with some folks on the East Coast who are sending volunteers over this week to try to assist these folks.
Many major roadways are still flooded. Power and cell service are still down for many, making the rescue efforts even harder.
No phones, nothing.
Tanya Werner has been desperately trying to get a hold of her father, who was taken to the hospital on a ventilator. With their phone lines down, she's had no contact with him or hospital staff.
I don't even know if he's alive.
More than 100 people are confirmed dead in Florida. More than 50 of those deaths are in Lee County alone, where some are now questioning whether evacuation orders were given too late. Officials there defending their decisions.
I am confident in our county manager, our leaders, our governor, all of us in law enforcement, that we got that message out at the right time. Now, whether people listen to it, we can't force people out of their homes, but we can continuously say, look, mandatory evacuation.
In Fort Myers Beach, I'm Gloria Pasmino reporting.
Now, Clinton native Michael Khalil and his wife rode out the hurricane in Naples, Florida, and they were fortunate not to have any severe damage from the storm. But Khalil works as a golf pro at a course in Naples, and he says that about 95% of the members live in downtown Naples. It was one of the hardest hit areas. The clubhouse at his course, though, didn't sustain any damage, so he decided to open it up and allow the members a place to come in and clean up.
So we opened it up for members to come in, take a shower, get on the internet if they wanted to, and you just see these people walk in with just looking like a ghost. Like they don't have words because they just have lost everything. It's heartbreaking. It really, truly is. You know, it definitely just reminds you that Mother Nature is just powerful and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And maybe next time when you start watching the hurricane track of, where is it going to go? Maybe you take extra precautions that day early. Maybe you do get water a little bit earlier in the last minute.
Khalil and his wife consider themselves lucky there was little damage to their home, but the storm will leave a permanent mark, they say, on Naples and serve as a reminder of Mother Nature's power. Continuing coverage of a story that we first brought to you on Sunday. Residents of a local mobile home park have been without water now for 3 days, and they're still waiting. We'll go over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis. Good evening, Bill.
Good evening, Jason. The cooler weather continues to move in, and we're seeing fall color emerge in central New York. This picture from Carl, Bald Mountain Pond. Actually, this is the Berea Trails, I should say, looking really nice here. Beautiful shot, and we really do enjoy those fall colors here in central New York. We're looking at colors that are near peak in some of the higher elevations, and that is going to continue here for the next several days. We'll see more color in the Mohawk Valley as we head into the next 1 to 2 weeks. A live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking quiet. Our current temperature is 43 degrees. We have just a few high clouds in place from the leftovers of what was once Hurricane Ian in place. And we're going to be seeing dry weather here for the next several days. If you have to cut the lawn, the weather looks great. If you have to rake the leaves, the weather looks great. We're looking at 3 dry days in a row. Tonight, we're looking at an overnight low of 36. There will be some patchy frost in the outlying areas, especially north of the Mohawk Valley. We're taking a look at a chilly start at the bus stop for the kids, as well as some even colder weather ahead. Look at that forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. The man that was sentenced to
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look outside, overlooking the city of Utica from our CAVB tower cam. We're looking at weather conditions tonight that will bring some patchy frost to some of the outlying areas, especially north of the Mohawk Valley. The leaf change process continues to move along pretty quickly. This picture from Macaulay Mountain. Stephen taking this photo over the weekend. Near peak color emerging along those higher elevations. Still about another 1 to 2 weeks before we see peak color in the Mohawk Valley. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. Things are looking dry. I wanted to highlight some frost chances ahead. Some patchy frost is possible tonight, especially in the outlying areas and especially north. We'll have the chance of this happening again tomorrow night, although it looks like a lower chance. Safe from frost heading into Wednesday and Thursday nights, but by Friday night, temperatures are going to start to drop again, and I think our best chance of frost will be Saturday night. Looking ahead, that looks to be the chilliest weather so far this season. Let's take you around the clock tomorrow. We start out at 7 a.m., temperatures around 40. Look at how fast we warm up. We'll be in the 60s in the afternoon, so pretty big jump in the temperature. Light winds are expected throughout the day. Overall, a really nice fall day is to be expected. A couple of warm days ahead. Wednesday, Thursday, temperatures will be near 70, and then we take a dive, 50s on Friday and into the upper 40s on Saturday. Still seeing the effects of what's very much left over Hurricane Ian, just the remnants here. Still bringing some rain to the mid-Atlantic. We're on the northern fringe of this, so some high clouds will continue. We should stay dry. We have high pressure that's building in. It's been blocking this system from bringing us rainfall, and I think that'll be the case throughout the day tomorrow. Clouds will be a little bit thicker tomorrow compared to today. We're looking at temperatures starting out in the low 40s. We'll climb into the mid to upper 50s in the afternoon. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy skies. Wednesday, we should see more clearing. The high pressure system works in from the north, and that should bring more sunshine and warmer temperatures, with highs climbing into the upper 60s. Tonight, patchy frost, especially north, low of 36. Tomorrow, faded sunshine, temperatures in the low 60s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Some warm days ahead. Wednesday and Thursday look really nice too. Highs near 70. Rain on Friday. A strong cold front arrives. We're into the upper 40s Saturday and back to the 50s Sunday and Monday. Jason.
Bill, thank you. Coming up next, one long